Black history, enslaved in Prince Edward County and Canada as a whole. Enslavement was common practice for 260 years in the French and British colonies in what came to be Canada. Within that time frame, at least 4,500 black people were enslaved. Through her research, Natasha Henry Dixon has concluded that at least 20 black people were enslaved in Prince Edward County alone, although there may have been many more not documented. The Loyalists' large migration into Canada brought with it many undocumented slaves. Those who were documented were only considered property held by their British owners. One of the documents that I can show you is a page from the Book of Negroes, which shows the property held by several Loyalists on a ship bound for Quebec. In this document, 3 people are shown to be enslaved by Major Peter Van Alstyne. Cuff, a 16-year-old, Pussy, a 30-year-old woman, and Pussy's unnamed child, who inherited the slave status from his mother. These people were only found in records as chattel and were thus viewed as commodities. Enslaved black people in Canada chopped wood, cleared land, and built structures such as homes on the property of their enslavers or military fortifications during and after the war. Enslaved men labored as hunters, voyagers, sailors, miners, fishermen, bateaumen, servants, or even labored alongside their enslavers in trades and sales, though enslaved men could only serve white men and not white women. Enslaved black women, however, mostly labored as domestic servants in providing bathing and dressing to both white men and white women, cooking, washing laundry, washing pots and pans and dishes, as well as completing a litany of household chores. On smaller farms, women would also do the same labor as men on top of their household chores. On March 14, 1793, a woman named Chloe Cooley, enslaved by a man named Adam Fruman in the Niagara area, was forcibly tied to a ship to be sold in New York. Chloe Cooley had physically resisted, screaming very loudly, and as a result, a white laborer named William Grizzly and a black loyalist named Peter Martin heard the violent interaction and reported the incident to the Executive Council of the provincial legislature. Attorney General John White and Simcoe used this instance to try and introduce a legislation to abolish slavery, and the result was the passage of the 1793 Act to Limit Slavery. This legislation introduced gradual abolition to Upper Canada and is noted as being one of the first anti-slavery legislations in the British colony. It's been estimated that at least 20 black people were enslaved in the Prince Edward County alone, and there may have been many, many more, because not all of them were documented. There has been a long black presence in Prince Edward County in Ontario, and it is integral to recognize black history and black presence as part of our national history and local stories.